All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. Got everything set up. I did put a little link in the chat today. We're going to go for a virtual hike to the top of a local waterfall called Hungarian Falls. I know we have a couple people participating this morning on Zoom that don't live too far from there, so they can be our tour guides. And my job is to help us pace so we can get to the top. We won't need any equipment today, so we're going to start with a warm-up. Once we get through our warm-up, we're actually going to do a couple of what we call intervals today. We're going to do 3 intervals. Each is going to be 4 minutes long. We'll take a little break in between. But what I want you to do is kind of go from that green zone that we're in right now, and when we're just moving around, we're going to move today to get into the yellow zone. We won't get into the red too much, but we'll certainly get our heart rates up and have a good hike to the top of Hungarian Falls. So to start with the warm-up, I'm going to get you fired up. We're just going to clap our hands, move around in a circle here. Come back. Start to kind of march in place here a little bit. Getting a little warm up. We've got our timer going here. So we're meeting at the parking lot, just kind of waiting for everybody to show up and doing a little warm up here. I know there are a couple folks on today that are up and moving. If there's anybody who's a little bit older who wants to do this in a seated position, we can certainly do that. I can have my stool out here. You can do pretty much all of the exercise, moving your arms, moving your legs. A hybrid, if we're doing something up here, you need to take a break, you can sit down, you can rest, you can continue on here. The goal is really just to get our heart rate up and keep it up for about 4 minutes. So do whatever is best and within your abilities. Okay, we're just going to do a little side-to-side step in here. Start to swing our arms a little bit. Hopefully everybody's having a good morning. Looks like another cloudy day here in the Upper Peninsula, so kind of the status quo, but we'll get out and enjoy it as best we can virtually here. Yeah, so just folks are getting to the parking lot. We're all kind of warming up here. We're ready for our hike. Let's do some arm swings here. Just kind of move around a little bit in the room here. These can be a little smaller at first. Yep. You can make them a little bit bigger. Just kind of moving around here. We're still in that green zone. And then once in a while, I'll go ahead and kind of bring them and go the reverse direction. Just kind of moving around. Make them a little bit bigger. Okay, next what we're going to do is just a little modified jumping jack. So I'm going to stand in place here, give a couple claps, and we're just going to kind of step to the side, step to the other side. And if you want to go a little faster, that's perfectly fine. Just to get a good little warm up here. I know there's a couple of folks on the Zoom call and others watching on Facebook Live. We got our ski shirt on here. Fingers crossed for a little bit more snow so folks can go out and enjoy it. If it's cold, we should have snow up here. So we'll see if that helps for the next couple of days. Yep, do a couple more. Just go a little bit faster than what you're doing. Probably feel that heart rate going up a little bit. Okay, we'll come back. And the last one here, I'm going to borrow from one of our participants that taught me this. It's a little modified. We're going to clap our hands, kind of go up. We're going to tap our back, tap the backs of our legs, come back up, tap the front of inside of our legs, tap our chest, go up, tap our arms, Rub our belly, tap our head. Other side, tap our arms. Rub our stomach, rub our head. Clap, clap, clap. We'll do it one more time. Tap our backs, tap our butts, our leg muscles. Get a little higher, higher, higher. Tap our arms. Rub the stomach. Tap the head. Go to the other side. Same thing. And then, okay, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get started with the hike. So what we're going to do, like I said, now that we're warmed up, we're going to go continuous for about 4 minutes. After that, we'll get a little break. Think of this as the heart rate's going to gradually increase, and eventually we're going to get to a little bit of a plateau, and we're going to stay there until the end of the 4 minutes. If at any time you feel like, hey, you know, it's getting a little too hard, then just slow down. We don't want you to go 100% here, kind of in that yellow zone, about 60 to 80% of your max ability. So let's go ahead and get started. Just going to march in place here. It's a little slow march. And again, I think about pacing yourself. We want to get to the end of the 4 minutes with minimal breaks, so to speak. I see some people have their hiking poles with them today, so they can do a little bit more of a arm swing. Let's give a little bit of a high knee here, a little higher knee. If you've parked at the base of the falls, you know that first pitch is a little steep there where they've repaved everything. So we're hiking in place, got our hiking poles, moving our arms. Got a couple obstacles to step over here, so I'm just going to give a little hop over here and another log to step over, a few down trees. And as you're doing this, keep in mind, we're going to try to hit that 4 minutes. If you want to go a little faster, perfectly fine, a little jog. If you want to bring it back down, you just do a little step in place. I'm going to go just a tiny bit faster here. It's getting a little harder for me to carry on the conversation. That's what we want. Kind of that pace that makes it just start to get a little difficult to talk here. That's kind of that yellow zone. It's good, healthy stress on our heart and our lungs. We'll hop over here, double hop, get back in the little march. We're inside here. We're over halfway through our first interval here. If you're okay, you can take a couple steps back. Just check behind you. See a couple birds flying by the window here. Might see a deer or two coming through the yard. Another little hop and then a hop over here. Getting a little steeper, gonna do a few more high knees. Another hop, and I'm gonna do a little jog in place here. Got about 1 more minute till we get to our little stopping point here, and then we'll take a real quick break to check out the view. We're about a quarter of the way up here. And every once in a while, I'll give a little change over here and over here. Just going to look behind us. Looks like we've still got the whole group. It's a great thing about Zoom. I can see all of you. And we want to get there together. So okay, another 30 seconds. And if you're okay, I'm going to go just a little faster here, get to that little plateau, or you can just step a little higher, moving around the room. Definitely, if you feel like you're working a little harder, we're in the yellow zone. We could go harder. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and we'll come back to the center here. Grab a drink if you need it. Definitely, if you feel like your heart, your lungs are working a little bit more, that's a really good thing. We're going to take just a couple minute break here. And I want you to still keep moving around, but just as a nice, while the heart rate's coming down. If you need to take a rest on a chair, on the stool here, that's fine. But great work, everybody. I can get this working again. So we'll say we're about a third of the way up the waterfall here. Once you get your drink and shake it out, maybe move those arms a little bit. Yep. Now that was our first interval. We're shooting for 3. We'll see how 3 goes. We may stick in a bonus one if folks want one. But we're about a third of the way up the waterfall. And then this next one, we're still going to be in that yellow zone, but now that you've done one, we're a little bit more warmed up. We can go just a touch harder that second one if you're willing and able and feel comfortable. So we got 1 more minute here. We're just moving around, and then we'll start the next one. Just to give you a preview, we may switch from a march to a snowshoe to an ice skate. We're getting further up. There's a little bit more snow where we're at now compared to where we parked. So just really light moving around right now. We should be in that green zone. And as we get started here, we'll get back up into the yellow zone. We're going to start about 15 seconds here. Okay, I'll have you back, kind of in the center, and we're going to get started. I'm going to move my stool here. We're going to get started with our normal walk, our march, but we found a little bit more snow, and we're going to strap on some snowshoes here, so I want you to do a little bit of a higher step here. Keep those arms moving, kind of step over. Use a little bit different muscles, kind of jogging in place here. And we got to step over. Keep the jog in place. So keep that up if you are seated. Again, you can kind of simulate this. You can keep the arms moving. And we're just going to lift our legs. It's a little bit harder. You can kind of move over here, move over here. Keep it going. Really working some of those muscles in the front of the legs that would have to lift our heavy boots and our snowshoes. Over. Yep. Up and over. Up and over. Keep the jog. Every once in a while, we might have to hop over a frozen creek or a couple logs here, so give a little change. Maybe have to go back. And we're stepping over. Well, if you've done the hike, you know at some point we get to a little frozen, there's a dam and then the little pond there. We're going to shift to moving across the ice here on our speed skates or our ice skates. So we're going to come down to a little bit more of a crouch position. Going to give a side step here, back and forth with a little bit of a dynamic hop. This is kind of more modified here, or in the middle. If you want a little bit easier, you can just Kind of move side to side. Give you the view here. A little bit of a crouch, but just kind of keep it going. The deeper you go and hold it, the deeper in the crouch, the more you'll feel it in the butt and the legs. You get a little bit of a balance here when you come to the side and side. Okay? We're going. And the more advanced is just to do it a little deeper. You can go a little faster. We're skating across the pond here, the mini lake. We're getting closer to the top. Got about 90 seconds to go in this interval. I'm definitely in the yellow zone. Hopefully you are too. You move a little closer to the camera if you got space. You'll notice you can do a little arm swing, a little momentum here. Yellow zone is good. I could go a little faster, a little harder, but I'm going to pace myself here and be in that yellow. So holding back a little bit. Kind of that 60 to 80%. If you need to slow it up, that's perfectly fine. Got the last 30 seconds here, and then we're going to take a break. I'm going to go just a little faster here. Last 15 seconds. Speed skating. Looking good, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back to the center here. And we'll take a rest. Good work. Definitely take a seat after that one if you have a chair. Whew, good work. I can see everybody on the Zoom here. And really important, we're doing this together as a team virtually. We all got to cross the ice there. We're at the base camp level, so to speak. We can see the top, but we still got a little climb to go here. Grab a drink. Definitely take a seat if you need to. If you're feeling a little bit more advanced, you can do a little more active recovery and just kind of a little step in place here. By the end of the rest period, we'd like you to be coming back down to that green zone and feeling a little rested, still breathing harder, but just feeling okay. So at any time, if you feel like it's too much, certainly you can slow it down. You can rest this interval, and that's okay. We're just finding the best of our abilities. Getting to that yellow zone again is really good stress on our heart and lungs. Helps keep us strong and healthy. Yep, I see a couple people walking around. Just a reminder too, as we're doing this, if you did the first one, you were feeling good. Hey, the next one, this is getting harder, Steve. You can do this from the chair and just see how you feel, or even do part of it. Got one more minute, and then we're going to get started on our third interval. If you haven't been to Hungarian Falls, I know a few people are out of the region here. It's beautiful. There's several waterfalls to check out. I put the link in the chat. So next time you're up here in the Upper Peninsula, just about 15 minutes outside of Houghton, Hubble and Tamarack City is the town where you can park. So highly recommend it. There's different areas to park. Make it more challenging or less challenging, depending on how you're doing. So, okay, 30 seconds. Grab one more drink if you need it. You can stand back up. I'll move my chair here. Okay, hopefully you're back in that maybe yellow-green zone. Breathe in, your heart rate slowed down a little bit. That's good. That's what we expect. And we are going to get started here in 5 seconds. Right, here we go. Gonna step in place. Still got those hiking poles with us. It's getting steep here at the end. So really move those arms. I think by now you can see that 4 minutes inside is, it seems like it takes forever. Outside, we got things moving around. It might go a little quicker. So just remember to pace yourself. What I'd like you to do here, once we get to the first minute, to make it go by a little quicker, we're going to do a little hot lap around the living room or around your house if you can. If you can't, you can just stay on the camera here. I'd like you to work through the house a little bit. Just kind of map out a little path, and then we'll meet back here in the camera in about 30 to 60 seconds. If you run through it quick and it didn't take too long, maybe do another one. I'm going to go around my kitchen here and living room, come back, so you can go a little faster. If you want to do a little kind of hop, skip, whatever you need to do. Keep that heart rate up in the yellow, and we'll see you in a little bit. We're doing a little off-trail exploring here. That was pretty quick for me in my kitchen. I'm going to go down to the bedrooms here. I'm back in the field. I'm going to go through the kitchen again. Good work. I see people flashing through the video. That's awesome. Finish up your lap. Then come back in the camera here. If you're back on the camera, if you're doing this seated, you can always move your arms around a little bit too. Swing them side to side. Bring them up. If you're getting a little tired, you can just move your arms. But looks like folks are back here. Great, we want to keep it going. We're about halfway through our interval here. If you want to throw in some high stepping, you want to throw in some speed skating, that's perfectly fine. Just pace yourself the last minute. We're going to do our mountain climbers, which are the steepest part up to the top of the waterfall. Keep it going here. We're going to step over a couple of creeks or kind of jump from rock to rock. Jumping from rock to rock. Hopping across the frozen creek here. For the last minute here, we can see the top of the waterfall. We're doing well. What I want you to do is find a chair, find a couch, see if I can demonstrate it here. Just something to get a little bit of an incline here. You could use the couch. So I'm going to kind of keep my back straight, and I'm just going to bring my knees up and just go like this to the finish. You can do this on the couch. If you don't have something, you can do it on the ground. Couch works pretty well. You can even do it on the wall if you put your hands out and bring your knees up. If you're seated, perfectly fine. Just continue with the high knees and the arms. Okay. We got about 30 seconds to go to the top of the waterfall. I'm going to go a little faster if you're feeling okay. Really bring those knees up close to the chest. This is a steep part of the climb. Whew. We're on the home stretch here. Last 10 seconds here. 10, 9, 8. Keep it up. 7, 6.5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. You can see the waterfall. Come back to the center here. We actually even went a little over our 4 minutes there. Great work, everybody. We're at the top. If you later on click in the chat, you can see the beautiful photos of Hungarian Falls. We started out with no snow. We had to strap on our snowshoes there. We had to get on ice skates. And at the top, arms and legs almost like a mountaineer would to get to the top. So beautiful view. Looking forward to doing it as a group once we're able to, hopefully 2021 next summer. If you're moving around, if you're up, continue to move around just a little bit, just to help kind of slowly bring the heart rate back down. If you're seated, perfectly fine to rest. If you need to take a break completely. Just kind of moving around here. So I think we did pretty good. We did our 3 intervals. Each was 4 minutes long. So that's 12 minutes of good stress on the heart and the lungs. And I think for today, we'll just finish up with a cool down. And we'll save the last interval for next time. Or if you're going to do something later today, you'll have a little bit more in the tank. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes less is more. And we got a great workout here, over 30 minutes. I'm just going to continue to walk around here, put my hands on my head, take some deep breaths in and out. If you're seated, put just hands on head. Kind of bring my hands down to my hips and really kind of open up my chest here and kind of pull my shoulders back a little bit. Just walking around. We're up at the top, and now we're going to really enjoy a nice walk down the trail and back to the car. We're just going to keep walking around here. You can walk in place. Don't forget, we still got our hiking poles with us. We'll do a little arm movement. So I'm just going to go a couple more minutes here of our cool down. Should feel like you're coming back to that green zone. Still breathing, a little harder, heart rate's beating faster, and that's good. If you are seated and you're willing and able and can, if you want to stand up, we're going to do a little stretch on our quad. Grab something for support. We're just going to lift our leg up here and pull it back. For the folks that are up moving around, I'm going to give you a little bit more dynamic one of just grabbing it and then moving to the other leg. So you're grabbing, getting a little quad stretch. Side view here. Just hold it for a second. And again, if you need a more modified version, grab something for support and just see if you can grab your leg, pull it back to your butt. If you can't, you can always grab show it here in the camera, you can grab your heel. Just kind of hold it again, holding the chair, holding the couch. I see a couple participants doing some great ones. You can raise that arm up. Yep. And if you do want to hold it a little bit for balance, that's great. We're going to switch, and we're just going to do a little, one of my colleagues calls this a Frankenstein. We're just going to swing the leg up just a little bit. Yep. Put the hands out. Since this is a cool down, I'm looking for just a nice, easy stretch here. You can go a little higher, you'll feel a greater stretch. Just make sure it's nice and easy. far as the pace goes. And if you need a little more support, you can hang on to something. We have a few of those. I'm gonna come back to the home position here. Just walking down the trail. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like I'm still a little in that yellow-green zone. I need a few more minutes of moving around before I'm back to my green zone. So that's okay, that's normal. Just nice, easy walking around. I'm gonna give a few arm swings here. We didn't use our arms as much as our legs, but we did keep them moving with our hiking poles. So arms should feel like they're getting a little work too. Yep, just nice and easy. Grab a drink if you need to. As we're hiking down the trail here, if you've been to Hungarian Falls, I'm going to take a seat here for a second. We're kind of about halfway down, and that's where one of the lower falls is, and it's quite spectacular, especially this time of year without a lot of leaves and vegetation. You can really see the water coming over. So we'll take a minute here to just regroup, and then we'll finish the last couple of minutes, and then we're all set for today. But just want to make sure we have a good solid cool down before you continue on with your day here. Yep, and if you're standing, just continue a little walking in place. So we got a couple of pictures here of the lower Hungarian Falls. Looks spectacular. Water is just spilling over. Let's finish it back up to the car. So moving the arms a little bit. Don't forget, we still got to hop over a couple of stones and some logs. Okay. Move it up. We're going to do a little side to side, just kind of loosen up everything. These can be maybe not quite as far as what we were doing before, so a little bit more here in the middle. If you are doing it seated or taking a break, as you're seated, you can kind of just put the leg out. Yep. A little side to side here. Nice swinging arm. I'm going to say about one more minute, maybe 90 seconds, and then we'll be back to the car and we all set here. As we finish up here, for those standing, I'm going to have you bring your leg up and just kind of hold it. And then the other one. If you're seated, you can do the same modified version. If you're a little tired and need some hold on to the chair for balance, that's fine here. Well, I hope today the workout was a little different. We're definitely missing being outside together in person, so thanks for playing along here and going with us. Looking forward to doing this when we can do this together, and some high fives here and some handshakes at the end. But yeah, the most important part as we're just really cooling down here is encouraging people to stay active. Any activity is better than none, and occasional stuff like this is really good for the heart and the lungs. So think about going from that green zone to the yellow zone. That's really good. Not every day, but frequently is very good. Next week, we'll have our workouts continuing. We'll be here Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays over the noon hour, 12 and 12:30, a little shorter one. Thursday morning, 9:30 is more yoga, Pilates based. And then Saturday you never know what you're going to get, whether it's some weightlifting or some more aerobic exercise. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording here and be happy to say hello and answer any questions here. Great work. And see you next time.